Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic host of Bachelor Nation News, and we're still discussing some of the events that took place on Monday night's Week 7 of The Bachelor as Clayton tries to find love. He's headed to hometowns with his final four. Sarah was not one of them. He essentially said, hey, I think you got fake tears, and he kicked her out. And it's leaving people discussing. Some are saying, oh, this was way over the top. She was clearly rattled by Mara and other issues. So we'll discuss it. We'll show you what Blake Horstmann says about it all. Do me a favor. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. Tons of other content coming your way. Stand-up comedy clips and some other info over there. And don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button an odd number of times. And also, if you want extra content, if you're like, Dave, the one thing you're not giving us is enough content. Well, I've got extra hours of content on the Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal. All right, let's just hear what Blake has to say about this scene that went down on this past episode of The Bachelor.
It just seemed so over the top the way Clayton was like, I don't believe you. You're fake crying. It was just seemed over the top.
She couldn't even get it. Like last week, the waterworks wouldn't turn off. Now that she couldn't even start fucking crying.
But that's the thing. I bet she's been crying for fucking 3 days. Like, I've been there. You run out of tears. I don't know. I get both sides, but
you could see her face. She was trying so hard to squeeze it out, though.
I think she's just, I think she got so blindsided with the Mara thing last week that she's just been shook for 3-4 days. It just seems so over the top.
It's hard to say here. Now, obviously, Blake, is taking the side of saying, hey, I've cried. You cry until you can't cry any longer. And we really don't know. I mean, I'm not one to tell someone their tears are fake. I don't know what's going on inside their head. Was Shanae fake crying, or was she crying about something, by being called out or whatever? I mean, I don't know. People can cry. But, of course, Sarah, when she received the second one-on-one date, became a target, and then they sort of created some sort of pseudo-villain out of her. The only thing that Sarah did wrong, I think, is defend herself against Mara's accusations. I really think she could have taken the high road. Like, sure, to Clayton, she'd be like, hey, listen, Mara doesn't know what she's talking about. Clayton was going to vote Mara off anyway. But as far as, like, coming back from a rose ceremony, swinging her rose, or coming back from her one-on-one, getting all mad at Mara, don't even give her the time of the day. But then again, they're tired, they're hungry, they're deprived, they haven't slept, they got all these issues, they're not acting normally. They're essentially somebody who hasn't had a Snickers bar yet, hungry, whatever, eat the Snickers bar, and they'll feel a little bit better. So people are saying, finally, #justice for Sarah. They wanted a villain per episode so bad. If I'm blindsided and shook more than once in the same way within less than a week, I'll go from being sad to being pissed. Pissed that I keep getting questioned like this. Last night, Sarah seemed pissed. It's so interesting to hear a guy's perspective. Boy, I wish we had more of that. Part of why I love this pod. When y'all recapped Susie's one-on-one, my mind was blown. Love her so much, but y'all come on. She definitely knows what Louboutins are. Okay, that's neither here nor there. So here's a Bachelor Pad alum, Holly Durst, Julian, defending Sarah after Clayton Eckhart questions her intentions. This is somebody who knows Sarah. Let's hear what she has to say.
Okay, Sarah, Blake and I got asked to judge a pageant years ago, and I was Sarah's judge. So I'm the one that picked her to win the pageant. So she won the whole thing.
Wow.
And we just always stayed in touch, and like we were just kind of friends because of it. And I've just watched her grow up and mature. And I know she's really young and I'm a lot older than her, but I just have always loved her. She is a really sweet person. And watching this episode I was just cringing the whole time because knowing her and knowing who she is, I was like, this isn't her. But I also think she's very, she knows what she wants to say always before she speaks. And so I think the other girls probably didn't, it seems calculated, but I think when you're growing up in the pageant world, you need to be really well-spoken. And I think all the pageant girls are trained in a way to speak that way, so I know how she speaks, and I was like, this is normal, but to other girls, and hello, she's really confident, and that sucks for the other girls.
Yeah, I know. I actually feel like I did the Us Weekly YouTube show this morning, and I was kind of like on Sarah's side a little bit. So I think it'll be interesting for us to get into it. But was it like a teen pageant that you were hosting or helping?
She was Miss Teen South Carolina.
All right, Miss Teen South Carolina. So people are defending her, and then sort of a side conversation here, because this doesn't involve Clayton so much as it involves the fight between Sarah and Mara. Now, of course, Sarah was the youngest, and Mara was one of the oldest or the oldest. There's an age difference there. Someone had commented, I don't watch The Bachelor religiously, but I like to pop in ever so often to see what's going on in the show. And it just so happened I saw Monday night's fight between Sarah and Mara. Sarah and Mara, like the Tia and Tamara nobody asked for. Tia and Tamara, Sarah and Mara. You might not get that reference. Mara's comments really rubbed me the wrong way, and I didn't see much media about it, so I wanted to bring it up. In particular, Mara's comments about telling Sarah, an Asian woman, to go back to the cute and quiet confidence and not being overconfident didn't suit her. It totally read to me like it being a racial microaggression and telling Asians that we do best when we're quiet and out of other people's way. Once again, haven't been watching this season because Clayton is a snooze, and I don't know how Sarah appears to other people, but just thought that what Mara said was a microaggression. It was supposed that no one was calling her out. All right, let's have a listen. I took it as, and I not that anyone asked, but I took it as an older person telling a younger person, be quiet and, whatever. And it doesn't make it right. Some of the comments here, I'm not Asian, but I hated the quiet and cute comments as well. I don't know if I recognized it as a racist thing because I think Mara has some sad ideas about being a seen but not heard wife from the 1950s. So initially I just thought she'd get some internalized sexism and is lashing out at Sarah, but I think your assessment is fair too. People definitely associate Asian women with being more quiet. Someone said, I do think her 1950s perfect housewife model has a lot to do with it as well. She also has a lot of ageism and sexism that really feeds into her overall attack on Sarah. She reiterated time and again what she thinks a wife should be and not Sarah. I'm Asian. I was pissed at the quiet and cute comment. While part of it may be driven by the fact that Sarah is the youngest in the house, extroversion and outspokenness isn't tied to age. Does Mara tell kids to go back to being quiet and cute when they're being rowdy? Very good point. So yes, I agree. Her comment had racial undertones. I don't think she would have said this if Sarah were an outspoken white woman. Very nice. Someone said, thank you for your comment. I just felt like seeing the fight happen out of context helped simplify the premise for me, which in turn highlighted the unconscious bias and racial microaggressions. I went looking to see if anyone else thought something similar and didn't see anything, so I thought I would post about it. Hey, these are good conversations to have. What do you guys think? I'll read a few more comments. For everyone saying that Mara wasn't showing microaggression, multiple things can be true. She's telling Sarah to grow up and still being unintentionally racist by leaning into Asian stereotypes that they should be quiet. Again, that's under the assumption that she was telling her to be quiet because, if it's unintentional, it's hard to unpack these. Is my point, because you're saying what Mara's intention may or may not have been, and we didn't even watch the full conversation. We never do. I'm not defending Mara. I'm just saying, one person telling another person to calm down, be quiet, doesn't always have to be racist. Did anyone tell Shanae, a white woman, to be quiet? Good point, when she was acting like a psycho. They had a lot of things to say about her, but Mara definitely did not tell her to sit back, look cute, and be quiet about her confidence. Well, it's a point there. And it's a common thing for frontrunners to be confident, and she was a frontrunner. She had the first two one-on-one dates. So it really rubbed me the wrong way when they acted like she was being too confident and her confidence was negatively affecting them. I guess that's the deal with whether or not it was microaggressions and sort of implicit bias, and as this person said, unintentionally racist, are terms that exist, when we talk about subconscious behavior that aren't obvious. So it is worth discussing. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. Either way, we have Blake and several others supporting Sarah. It was very odd how she was very quickly, of course, in real time, I'm sure this was a much longer conversation, but Clayton was a little angry that he thought he was being put on by her. Some people have commented, why do we think that Shanae got a pass for so long and not Sarah? And I think it's because, and some have said this, he actually really liked Sarah. Shanae was the pawn who he was kind of into, that was the villain of the show, but wasn't getting the serious one-on-one time that Sarah was getting. And when people like Rachel and others came forward and said, hey, Sarah's talking up her relationship to us, we think she's doing it to try to silence us, then he decided to stick with the Rachel and Gabby's and Susie's in that fight versus Sarah. Let me know what you guys think. It's a little complicated. Feels like it's a little above my pay grade. But whether it's ageism or whatever it is, Mara and Sarah are both left off the show. We'll see them at the Women Tell All, I suppose, which is filming this week. We'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye now.